All right, hey guys. So I'm gonna show some more of my records, and I decided the next one I do will return to the little silly intros. I don't know. I feel like it's I've grooved long enough and feel I'm getting better, so we might return to a normal kind of silly form soon. So I want to let you guys know that. And let's see here. So trying to see. Okay, so all right, hold on 1 second. Okay, so I think this is that's what I think we left off on this one. Yeah, so this is All My Heroes Are Cornballs by J.K. Mafia, and he is a experimental hip hop musician from I think born in New York, and he's from Baltimore, Maryland. Now, this is my favorite album of last year. Like I might have said Caligula was my favorite of last year. I don't know. I've been kind of back and forth, and this one's probably my favorite of last year though. But see here. So, Jesus Forgive Me, I never thought it might be my favorite off of this one. My favorite song that he's done is the song Ball that he made this year. It's probably my favorite that he did. I don't know if it's going to be on the album though. It's probably not going to be, but I don't know. But yeah, this is a good album though. One of my favorite hip hop releases ever, I'd probably say. He's a really, really, really talented, really great producer, and it's a really, really unique sound too. I think some people have kind of compared him to Def Grips, but he's not inspired by them. I think I heard he's not that big of a fan of them, so he's obviously not influenced by them. But maybe it's just because they're both experimental rockers, or maybe I can see some similarities. I guess they have the cyberpunk kind of internet theme, but that's kind of all I can say about that. They're really not that super similar. In my opinion. All right, hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, this one is Animals by Pink Floyd. This is their the last installment in the trilogy that was Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, and then this album Animals. So, and this is my favorite out of there. This is my favorite album by them. It was Wish You Were Here for a while, but I think I might prefer this one now. Let's see here. The concept of the album is really interesting. All three of them are concept albums, though, but this one I felt like was the concept that kind of struck me the most, I guess, because it's like a politically charged album where the pigs represent the corrupt government officials, and the dogs represent the people who seek their own views and are seen as outcasts because of it, and then the sheep are the ones that blindly follow everyone else and don't think for themselves. It's kind of what it's supposed to be, I guess. But that's a good album. Let me see here. Alright, so okay, so hold on one second. Alright, this one is hold on. Okay, so this is Contrastic by Contrastic. That's a self-titled album by a grindcore band from the Czech Republic. This is actually probably my favorite grindcore release, even though it's not a very well-known grindcore release. But I'm really happy I ordered this when I did because it actually sold out. And that poster over there, the one with the mermaid, that poster came with it. And I'm not going to take it off the wall. But, I guess I didn't take the other ones off the wall. But it has another image on the side that some of the other ones I told you about did. But this is has a lot of humor in it. The original cover is actually just a picture of Ariel from the Little Mermaid. And there's some electronic music kind of little influences and just textures on this too. There's a lot of humor on this. This is one of the weirdest metal albums I've ever listened to, but maybe that's what makes it great. So, you see here. So, okay, so this one is Symbolic by Death, and this is their most well-known album. It's my favorite by them, and they're a death metal band from Florida, Orlando, Florida, I think is when they kind of started it. And they're actually a big movement in the Florida death metal scene. because Florida has a pretty big death metal scene. And they're my second favorite death metal band after Gorguts, probably. But this is a really great album, though. They're a lot lighter than most death metal groups, I'd say. Kind of have a bit of a with this album. They kind of in the '90s they started doing kind of more progressive metal stuff with technical death metal, and I felt like they kind of did that better than their more straightforward death metal stuff, which was also good. But I prefer their stuff they did kind of later into their career personally. But yeah, this is a really good album, and they're their best for me. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. This one is Static Age by the Misfits, and this is a hardcore. They're a hardcore punk band from New Jersey, and you guys have probably heard of them. They're a pretty well-known group. Glenn Danzig is also in a group called Danzig. It's also pretty good. And actually, this album was originally supposed to be their first release. Supposed to release in late 1970s, but it came out in the late 90s. And I forgot the reason. It was probably maybe because of the controversial lyrics or something, but it wasn't released when it was the year it was intended to, and they actually made an EP that had some of the songs on it, but it didn't get an official release until years later. But it was intended to be their first release, and this is also my favorite album by them too. So, but yeah, it's a great album, Static Age. It's here. So okay, so this one is Death Consciousness by Have a Nice Life, and they are a shoegaze and also a post-punk group from Connecticut. And let's see, I won't really take the records out, but maybe I don't know, maybe I will. But this is an album that I actually really fell in love with when I kind of first heard it, mainly because I really like the sound of it. But the cover is actually a picture of an old like Renaissance painting. But if you kind of dig into the lyrics are actually very depressing. A lot of the lyrics have to do with death and suicide and all that stuff. And this is a little booklet it comes with though. So there's actually a little story, and some of the lyrics are also in this. I actually remember I actually read through this whole thing one time. I can't tell you completely all that it's about, but I think they had an author write this book for them or something like that. And they also had on one page it has all the lyrics for it. At one point I didn't really got into the part with the lyrics, but I think we're getting there. Yeah, here it is. So where the lyrics of the album are, and some of the stories actually contain some of the lyrics that are in this book. I think that's the author of the book, I think. And the last page is just blank, but that's kind of it for for that album. But let's see. Let me put this back. Like I don't like these. I'm not too big on the ones that are really thin. They kind of rip easy. The like little resealable flaps or whatever. There's some better ones, but that's not one of the better ones. Okay. Okay. So this one is Madvillain by Madvillain, which is a collaborative album by rapper MF Doom and the producer Madlib. And MF Doom produced some of these too. I think he mostly did the little sound collages, but yeah, this is one of my favorite hip hop albums of all time. The packaging is kind of standard, but this is a very well produced, one of the most well produced albums I've ever heard. There's a lot of kind of humor in this too, and has a kind of little super villain thing, kind of theme in it. And this is kind of been, some people have kind of called this like the Enter the Wu-Tang of the 2000s, because a lot of artists of the 2010s have cited this as an influence on their work. Yeah, this is a really great release, and definitely the best thing MF Doom has ever done. Let me see here. Okay. All right. So this one is OK Computer by Radiohead, and This is their most, I would say their most well-known release, and a lot of people kind of see as their best, and for me it's their third best, but it's still a really great release, and it's actually the #1, like apparently the highest rated album on Rate Your Music, which I wouldn't completely agree with, but this is still a really good release anyway though. But see here. Okay. Okay. But yeah, a lot of the lyrics have to do with kind of be working at jobs you hate and all that stuff, and there's a lot of kind of depressing kind of things going on with it too. But yeah, this is a really good release though. Anyway, so one of the best albums in 1997. It was a good year for music, and also the year I was born. So let's do one more. Let's do one more, and then we'll do the rest for the day. So, see here. Okay. This one. Okay. This one is Ironworks by the Dillinger Escape Plan. This isn't one of their more popular releases, I wouldn't really say, but it's my favorite by them. And with this album, they kind of went into a more electronic music kind of influence direction. They're a metalcore band from New Jersey, and I don't know. I feel like this has a really, really unique sound, and I really like some metal music that's really, really futuristic and stuff like that. And sound has like really kind of mechanical sound, but maybe not going to the lengths of maybe having science fiction kind of themes, if that makes sense. But this is my favorite release by them, and also one of my favorite metal albums ever, too. And the record color is really cool, too. You saw it, so let me see here. Put it back. Okay, so that is all I'm going to do for today. And thank you guys for watching. Bye.